Good evening and welcome to Egham Festival of Music 2021. We're coming to you live from the Lit, a cultural community hub in Egham.
We will be showcasing a variety of local artists in tonight's show, with some performing live and some that we performed earlier this week on location.
Tonight's broadcast is being produced in collaboration with Gig at the End of the World and Music and Words Club, both of which we'll hear a little bit more about later on. We're also holding this event on International Make Music Day, which is a festival that started in France in 1982. It focuses around the idea that music should be free and accessible to all who want to hear it.
If you have any questions throughout the show, please pop them in the YouTube live chat. We would love to get you all involved.
Oh, you really remembered those. Please enjoy our first act, which is Keely Pierce, who's actually performed at the festival all 3 years.
The time.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Right, we'll see you in a minute.
For you I was a flame. Love is a losing game. 5-story fire as you came. Love is a losing game. One I wish I never played. Oh, what a mess we made. And now the final frame. Love is a losing game. played out by the band. Love is a losing hand, more than I can stand. Love is a losing hand, self-professed, profound, till the chips were down. Though you're a gambling man, love is a losing hand. Though I battle blind, love is a fate resigned. Memories mar my mind. Love is a fate resigned over futile art and left at by the gods. Now the final frame, love is a losing game.
Thank you to Keely Pearce for that rendition of Etta James' At Last, and also the amazing Sophie Camp for their cover of A Losing Game by Amy Winehouse.
Very well done again. Yeah, so I think we're all just kind of getting warmed up. I've never done a TV show before, so I'm just trying to give a bit of a natural flow from things. So, Jenny, you've run Egham Festival of Music for the last 3 years when you first came to Egham.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about how that happened.
So in my first year I started volunteering with Egham Museum, and the curator at the time, Sarah Corn, came to me and she said, I know you're interested in music, do you want to put on a festival? I said, yeah, sure, why not? And then we did it in the first year, just in the museum and in the Crown. So it was a very small event. We got a small crowd in the museum, and it was a very, very sunny day at the Crown. So people were drinking, and it ended up like a really good night. Last year was another challenge because we had to take it online within about a month. So that was very difficult. I'd never done anything online to that kind of grandeur, I guess. And then obviously this year, this is my final year, so I finished my degree now, and I will be departing Egham, sadly. But hopefully I've left behind something that you guys will carry on for many, many years.
Departing Egham, it's like the Hotel California.
Yeah, I never will actually leave, I'll just be walking rounds and rounds.
That's it.
Just for context, that's our dictator Will behind us, treating us that little performance.
It's a pretty good title.
Yeah, we're not safe. We're not safe. There's a madman in the building.
And it's definitely Will.
So we got these scripts, right? And I keep looking at mine, so I have to recontextualise it. Kitty is fantastic at doing that. So it's Kitty's question next.
I was going to ask Jenny what community arts means to her.
I think it is just getting people involved in music. Mm-hmm. Where I'm from, there's like quite a big music scene. We have an arts festival every year, but Egham doesn't really have that. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of trying... Yet, yes. Hopefully this will gain momentum and give people something to look forward to every year with the arts. Maybe not just music, but...
Do you want to tell people about Lichfield and the music scene there and how that inspired here?
So I'm from a town in Staffordshire, the Creative County, and we do a festival every year called the Fuse Festival. It's on a weekend in July, and there are 3 tents. So when I was, I think in my gap year, I managed one of the tents, which is kind of how I got into it. So my friend's mum was running it and said to me, "Oh, do you want to have a go at this?" So that was kind of my step into the world of festivals. And it's a great event. We have like a circus tent every year, which is very fun. There's like the main stage. We have bands coming from all over the world actually. And then we have a smaller stage which is more local performers, which I've performed on a couple of times as a young person.
Cool. So yeah, and she brought a little bit of that to your favourite town, the centre of the universe.
Do they call them Egonians around here?
Yeah, we were talking about that. Is it Egham?
I have never heard that. That's some sort of one generation Royal Holloway slur.
Eghams.
We're Eghams.
Eghams.
You know what our football club is called? The Bacon Sarnies.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, because it's Egham.
Yeah, that makes
Come
sense.
on, you Sarnies.
All the local like things on Uber Eats and stuff have some type of play on egg or ham.
And we're 13th in the Surrey division, I believe.
Wow.
So yeah.
Out of how many?
14.
Oh, that's not
So eat your heart out, Stanwell. I don't know if
But obviously we've got quite a lot of local musicians involved. So I know both of you have been to school here. So
Yes,
it's Strodes.
Strodes College.
Because you met Jamie from Dellaby there,
Yeah.
who's hopefully performing next year. And Keely Pears I know has been to, I want to say Strodes and Magna Carta. I could be wrong.
You
I'm
were
sorry,
at Magna
Keely.
Carta.
I was at Magna Carta for 2 years, then I moved to a nice Catholic school called Salesians in Chertsey.
And Soph and Cam lives down the road, so he's really local too.
So it's really nice to meet people that are actually from Egham, rather than just, because I'm aware that I came to the university and it could have been very easy to just get people from the university involved.
Stay in that bubble.
But I think knowing both of you from open mics and things that we used to do, it's been really good to just get the people that you know, that you trust to be involved with this festival and like just give it everything that they can. And that's been a really nice thing.
And with the festival, have you had any challenges over the last 3 years?
I think the main challenge was how it's been so different every single year. And obviously the first year it was in person, but now we're kind of, we're getting into the swing of it now, I think, with all the changes.
Sweet.
BT next.
Yeah, we're now going to cut to a video of...
Richard Tyner.
Has it already begun?
No.
Oh, okay, we're now going to skip to a video of everyone's favourite Irish poet who lives in Hollyport, not in Egham, but he's so great that we've just like, come and read us some words.
We shot him in Egham.
We shot, we filmed him in Egham.
And if he's watching, I had one of the Magnum ice lollies you left from Tuesday.
Yeah, so thank you very much for that.
Oh, Magnums.
So I'll go and get you one in the break.
After party.
You cannot be the first to go. When I dream that you've left our bed, my heart leaps within me, a moment of dread. Fully roused I rise, there will be no further sleep. I hear soft breathing as from our room I creep. When I leave, it is not for the journey or places to see. It simply gives me the chance to go back to you again. There are but few days left for us to share. I can say this and not feel defeated by despair. It has to be understood, I must go ahead to find shelter, prepare food and a place to sleep. A garden for flowers, promises for us to keep. We will finally sit and let the other world go. I will hold you, and when you need to be held, I will kiss your eyes and lips. I will be there, here, there and everywhere. As long as I am the first to go. You cannot be the first to go. I wrote that 3 years ago, and sadly, it was not to be. And this is the follow-up to it. It's called You Are Here. Is it day or is it night? Stuck inside this room so long, the cold has crept in and gone again, replaced by the moist air of fear. What dragged you here? To lose yourself in a narcotic haze, sip red wine and kiss sweet lips. Chained, deranged, mystified, your imagination drained. Lost in old movies of Fred, Ginger and Sid Charisse. Tasting the sweet sugar of sanctified love. You gave in and sank without trace, never to be the same again. Yet you are still here, trapped in a between world, wanting to quit this place. Something holds you here. It is time to let go and to rise above, praying as you surrendered, tears streaming down our faces, a collective wail of, don't go. That must be what keeps you here. We release you as scattered ash, knowing what once was is no more. It was then the dreams began, so real that you lie here beside me. You kiss me, you inhale my hair. I hear you, feel you, smell you. Why must I be the one to let you go? Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you all for inviting me to be part of Egham Music Festival. So thanks to Matt, Kitty and Jenny, and to our tech guys as well. Will from the Gig at the End of the World. Check out that content online, it's absolutely amazing. I believe you're releasing it bit by bit over tonight, or am I making that up? Please stop me.
Coming out on the Egham Festival for Music website, and then more content VR over the next few weeks.
I'll go under the artist name One Formation, and this song's called Floating. It's from my debut album. Is turning, but I'm standing still. I'm floating. The fire is burning, but remains a chill. Devoting. Time to drift without a sail. Should take some time to make a change. The more I try, the results the same. I end up drunk or in bed. I know it's all down to me. Am I aware? worst enemy. Reminded of old songs I wrote and played. Oh, learning the dreams live on alone, the details fade. Oh, I'm turning my life around, or so I say. The feeling's lost, the taste is stale. The intention's there, but the actions fail. And all I say is it happens. Ever lost and never found. The lights are on, but there's no sound. Thank you very much. I'm aware how weird that must look to you guys because you can't actually hear like the headphones. It's just hear like.
We can hear your voice.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you just don't get the dynamics that are getting through my. Yeah. Oh well.
We get something else.
Okay, this one's called Skyline. Thank you very much.
That's so good down the stream.
Cheers, dude.
Amazing.
Have I got time for one more, or is that? Yeah, cool. So this one, actually, the guy that we just witnessed his amazing poetry, Richard Tyner, he gave me some words to write a song to, and this is what I did with it, really. So hopefully he's watching. This is called Sail Away. That's not Sail Away. That's when you get to the end of your memory bank and realise there's some pre-recorded shit on it. So, okay, let's try that again. Well, forgetting about the loop pedal for now, I'm going to leave that to Mr. One Man because he's a much better. I was just going to play this song without the loops interfering, but.
So much to me, it means so much to me. sail away with me. Oh, sail away with me. Oh, sail away with me. Oh, sail away, sail away with me. Sail away with me. Sail away with me. Sail away with me. So water tears in my eyes. So water tears in my eyes. So water tears in my eyes. Sail away with me.
That was absolutely lovely.
Thanks,
Matt.
man.
Do you want to come and join me on my sofa, Matt?
I'd love to, yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers. Where am I going? This way.
So, yeah. Shout out to Richard Tyler for that last track, even though I'm not performing it. Well, how the tables have turned. What do you want to... What? No! Yeah. No. Do you want to interview yourself, or shall I?
Not particularly, no. So you're good at doing that.
Okay,
so,
cool.
yeah.
I know. I have got a little script here.
Have you? You don't
Yeah.
need it then. You don't need it.
I know. I know. So, yeah, do you want to, so Matt's here as, he's here as one formation, Music and Words Club, and kind of just a general staff member today. Tell us about the last track, and if you've got anything, if you can, talk about the last track and having anything released for it, or is there anything you've got planned with that last track?
I mean, I did make a video for it in my bathtub.
Yeah.
Which it's not what you think, don't worry, We had these, I won't spoil it, we had these little worry doll things. We made like a harbour out of the bathtub and stuff over lockdown. And it's I mean, I think what we're planning on doing at some point is putting out an EP. And then Richard Tyner, he suffers with Parkinson's.
Yeah.
And he's trying to raise money. I think he's heavily involved in Parkinson's charity.
Yeah.
So I said I'd obviously put out an EP and try and raise some money.
Isn't that
for
lovely?
Parkinson's. So, so we'll see how that goes. It's still, I think there's 2 tracks finished, and I've got probably another couple more I want to do. He's actually got some. That track is actually on another record that he's put out on his website. So if you go to his website,
2 different versions with 2 different.
Yeah.
He gets
no. Actually, no. It's my version on there, but. It's,
Okay.
But,
I wouldn't put that past him.
Yeah, no, it's all right. He has given me words before. Then someone else has sang it in open mic. Be like, hang on a minute, you gave that to me. Anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, good old Richard Tyler. I hope he's watching.
I'm sure he is. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So. Do you want to tell us about how you got into... Yeah, let's go for the Music and Words Club and sort of what that's about and why you got into that and why community arts, because I think I put that question when we were thinking what we're going to ask people. I really had you in mind with that because I think you told me a long time ago, actually maybe a year ago, about making something which is community but also high quality as well. So if you wanted to maybe go into that philosophy and just a bit on that.
What was the question? Sorry.
Like what does...
just talk about it. Is that
just talk about music and words and community arts, and also how you've done that, how you've evolved that in the time we're in right now, and how that's kind of led to part of today, which we're all very thankful for.
Okay, yeah, I mean, so I run something called the Music Words Club, which normally happens in pre-COVID times, on the second and fourth Thursday of the month at the Hope in Windsor, and that started about 2.5 years ago, and I had a bit of a, I don't want to say midlife crisis, I'm not sure if I'm midlife thing or whatever it is, but...
Third life,
whatever it is, I changed everything, like, you know, sort of changed jobs and decided I'd give photography and all that a bit of a go, and ended up making money out of it. And then being freelance, I sort of moved back to Windsor and wanted to have a space where I felt like I could bring some different musicians and artists involved together. In a nutshell, I used to work for the council, Slough Council. We used to do lots of community art stuff there, and it's all very much depending where the funding stream goes and who's in power at the time, depends on how well them projects survive. And I wanted to do a project which would be able to survive without funding and things like that. Can just be, you know, it starts with groups of people like yourselves and all that.
Yeah.
You know, just sort of getting together and doing something. And then you got the future of that thing, really. So, you know, you get enough people involved and these things can sort of progress.
Yeah.
And it's not about money, it's not about, you know, as long as you got the space. Obviously COVID happened, so then we couldn't have gigs anyway. So we moved it online, doing shows from the studio initially.
Zoom calls
in, so people were sort of zooming in from all over different parts of the country and all that. And I think after a while people got a bit annoyed with the audio being pretty shoddy, so I thought, okay, we better step the game up. We started getting people into the studio doing pre-recorded sets, and that got very time consuming, and eventually we did things a bit more like this, which is really nice, down the old court, which was lovely. And yeah, hence why I'm here today, really. So
yeah, this is sort of the third of those sort of community-led live streams in a sense.
Yeah, I could say
and
that. So.
Where can we find your photography work and all of this stuff that you do, Matt? Because I don't know how many people know Matt, but there's quite a lot of strings to your bow.
You can go to, probably the easiest site to find me on is minustone.co.uk. And then that will have links to my photography, which is mlfphotography.co.uk. I can't even remember the bloody website for it, but it's up there.
On the link tree.
It's all on the link tree.
So
yeah.
if you go to the link in the bio for anything to do with this event, then you'll find links to all of Matt's stuff.
And if you want to watch the Music and Words live streams, particularly the last two, one of which I was involved in, and so was Kitty, then go to Minus Tone and just type in Music and Words November and December 2020.
Yeah, it's on the Minus Tone channel, so it's, you can subscribe to that, just like you should subscribe to the Egham Festival music channel and Gig at the Underworld and all the other people's channels as well, because it really does make a big difference, because by subscribing to the channel means you get to see, you can sort of watch the shows from any sort of smart device like a Fire Stick and things like that, and you get notified when it's coming up as well. So it's really helpful for people streaming out, less sort of promotion through Facebook and YouTube trying to get you there. Really. So
especially if you want to watch it in VR.
Oh yeah, the VR stuff is great. You just need your phone. You don't need anything special. You can just literally go on and just follow it around the room with your phone. It's absolutely amazing. So
have we got the little goggles to hand at the minute?
They're around.
We'll do that when you come on.
Yeah, cool.
This strange voice in the background. Have you got anything else you'd like to say, Matt?
Not particularly, just to invite me.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Right.
The first, actually, I haven't played in a lot of the live streams recently because normally I'm doing the tech stuff, but luckily we've got this young man here just helping us all out.
Yeah.
So, Liam's been an absolute legend.
So. Shout out to Leo.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you very much. And
It's Amari now.
Is it right? Now it is time for a 3D experience with.
No. It's a normal 2D.
Is it a normal 2D?
Well, it's a bit of a 3D twist to it because it's shot in 360.
Right, let me rephrase that. This next video was shot in 360.
But then we did a 2D version of it. But I'm about to put the 3D version live on the YouTube channel, so you can watch it in VR there, in a low-res version, and there'll be a high-res version soon on my channel.
Cool. So without anything more, Amari on this stage here.
Georgia, the whole day through. Just that old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. I said, Georgia, whoa, Georgia, a song of you comes as sweet and clear as moonlight through the pine. Other arms, they reach out to me. Other eyes, they smile tenderly. Still in peaceful dreams I see the road leads back to you. I said, Georgia, whoa, Georgia, no peace I find. Just that old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Other arms, they reach out to me. Other eyes, they smile tenderly. Still in peaceful dreams I see the road leads back to you. Woo, Georgia, whoa, Georgia, no peace I find. Just that old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. I said just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind.
Shake his head at the lies you've spun. Won't let these blues bring me down. Didn't you know it's my time? I could have been your wife. Now I watch you ruin someone else's life. And where's your mother's pride? Has she any idea of the things you hide? Won't let these blues bring me down. Didn't you know it's my time? I sold a woman my tears. She said, baby, fortunes are hard to hear. Put my head to her chest, let your unraveling mind get I won't let the blues bring you down. Go on and take back your crown. Children learn to see. I was never sure you belonged to me.
And thank you very much to Amari for that lovely cover of Georgia, and Jenny. We did play the Jenny video, didn't we?
Yeah.
It speeds by, it speeds by between sets. So Jenny's song was called Frank, so thank you very much for that.
The anxiety of recording it, if you didn't play it, oof.
Yeah. Some of us have still got our part to go.
I'm just putting the VR versions live now on the channel.
Yeah, so the VR versions are now going live on the channel if you didn't catch on Egham Festival of Music. Thanks, Will.
So anything that's been on so far is now live on YouTube with the VR version.
Which page are we on?
So next we're going to Kitty Whitelock, who is our very own looper extraordinaire. So make sure to check out her socials via the link in our bio and enjoy.
Show me at the west side, baby. Harder, shouldn't be no harder. More love, you follow emotion. Hold up, if your time to roll up. Meet me, and I wonder if it ain't your touch. It's better every time we chill. You ain't gotta bring no stuff. We got all we need right here. Just let me be in your life like that. Be a wife like that. I'll bring the light right back. I'll bring the life right back. I'm gonna make you want more. I'm gonna be your new favorite. Tell him you're closing the door. I am the only for sure. Baby, harder, shouldn't be no hold up. More love if you follow emotion. Show up if you're trying to roll up. Meet me, I don't want to play harder. Shouldn't be no harder. More love if you follow emotion. Show up if your time to roll up. I wonder if it ain't your touch. I wonder if it ain't your touch. Wonder if it ain't your touch. Wonder if it ain't your touch.
Thank you. That was West Side by Ariana Grande. So Matt can do this thing where he's basically Lala Hathaway and it's insane. But we'll get to that later. This is going to be an Usher cover. Let me just think of the speed. Okay.
When you look from outside, all you see is videos and shows. But there's more to my life than people could ever know. Sometimes I gotta smile when I don't feel like smiling. Sit back and drive when I feel like writing. Nobody understands but you, girl. I can always be myself with you, girl. That's why I'm singing. Ooh, I can't believe it. You came just in time with what I needed. You're not like the other girls I meet every day. You stay down like them girls from around the way. Come follow me, come follow me, come follow me now. That's why I had to say, come follow me now, right now. When you look from outside, all you see is videos and shows. But there's more to my life than people could ever know. Since you came in my life, when I'm away from you, I hurry home. Oh yeah, I hurry home. You live in my mind, so I never feel like I'm alone. Sometimes I gotta go where I don't feel like going. When it gets too fast and I feel like slowing down, no one understands but you. That's why I only see myself with you. You came just in time with what I needed. You're not like the other girls I meet every day. You stay down like them girls from around the way. Ooh, I can't believe it. You came just in time with what I needed. You're not like the other girls I meet every day. You stay down like them girls who move the way. Come follow me, come follow me, come follow me now. That's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me, come follow me now. That's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me, come follow me now. That's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me, come follow me now. That's why I had to come follow me, come follow me now. That's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me, come follow me now. That's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me, come follow me now. Come follow me, come follow me, come follow me now. To say, come follow me, come follow me, come follow me now.
Thank you. I was meant to end it on the Glock there and sort of press the wrong button, but there we go. Dun, dun, dun. Last one, I'm going to do a song of my own. Let me just delete that. Where's it gone? It's disappeared! Okay, it's back, it's back, it's back. We can all get down to a click. Okay, I'm gonna add some bass. Still thinking of the other song now. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that again. I've done it too short. Sorry, dudes. Thanks for your patience. Yeah, this is the first time I've ever used this TC Helicon live, so.
It's live! That's just what happened.
It's really live, I swear! Okay.
Yeah. What actual happening here now in Egham.
Sunsets another day. Caught with my thoughts, can I keep them at bay? Such a beautiful world, but am I blind? If I looked into the shadows, what would I find? So fickle, so gullible, these human beings. In this world, people work so hard to impress. Leave that stress behind. Liberate your mind. Oh, oh, rise above. What did you think I'd do? Fall down in front of you. It's not part of my plan. Doesn't matter who you think I am, 'cause truth's right here in my hands. Am I wrong to search for the good in everyone? You tell me things that I just can't believe. Worrying thoughts running through my mind all the time, like, oh, am I really that naive? Oh, is this real, or do you show me a you've created? Got me questioning if things are what they seem. Does it really matter? Oh, what does it mean? Maybe I think too much, but maybe I rise above. What did you think I'd do? Fall down in front of you. It's not part of my plan. Doesn't matter who you think I am, 'cause truth's right here in my hands. Ooh.
Thank you, guys. See ya.
He looked down into her brown eyes and said, "Say a prayer for me." She threw her arms around him and whispered, "God will keep us free." They could see the riders coming. He said, "This is my last fight. If they take me back to Texas, they won't take me back alive." There were 7 Spanish angels at the altar of the sun. They were praying for the lovers in the valley of the gun. When the battle stopped and the smoke cleared, there was thunder from the throne, and 7 Spanish angels took another angel home. She reached down and picked the gun up that lay smoking in his hand. She said, "Father, please forgive me. I can't make it without my man." And she knew the gun was empty, and she knew she couldn't win. But her final prayer was answered when the rifles fired again. There were 7 Spanish angels at the altar of the sun. They were praying for the lovers in the valley of the gun. When the battle stopped and the smoke cleared, there was thunder from the throne, and 7 Spanish angels took another angel home. There were 7 Spanish angels at the altar of the sun. They were praying for the lovers in the valley of the gun. When the battle stopped and the smoke cleared, there was thunder from the throne, and 7 Spanish angels took another angel home. And 7 Spanish angels took another angel home.
Hello, welcome back. Thank you very much to the two of us for their version of 7 Spanish Angels. it's time to have a chat to Kitty, who is co-hosting this evening's event.
Hi.
Hello, thank you for that set, that was lovely.
Thank you. I definitely did rise above about 5 times slower than I was meant to, but hey,
It's just a new version.
It was a new version anyway, so.
Now you brought that up, I'm going to ask you about your EP, which I think came out in 2019?
2020, April
2020.
2nd.
Because it was postponed, wasn't it, the launch party, because of COVID. So tell me a little bit about the EP.
A week into it. Well, I still released it all online, so it's there, it's on Spotify, etc. A good friend of mine, Steve Morrell, helped me with the whole production side of it all, which was fab. And his dog, his dogs are brilliant.
They always make an experience easier, dogs.
Totally. Studio pals. But yeah, I wanted to do my EP launch. Like, people are probably used to seeing me with some type of loop and piano setup, but I really wanted to do it with a full band, and I've got the band together, and it includes Soph and Cam, who you heard earlier, Amari, who you heard earlier, Craig, who's a fab drummer, and my pal Laura, who's a beautiful singer. So yeah, hopefully we're thinking we might want to do a 360 video or something sometime. So yeah, we're coming soon, and maybe the EP launch might be in February the 2nd, let's say.
Well,
you heard it here first.
I will definitely be here for that.
Good, yeah.
So how did you actually get into music?
I played piano when I was really young, because my grandfather, who's an insane pianist and professor of harmony at Nella Hall, which is quite the title.
Wow.
So I think
that job title.
Yeah, I think that just seeped down like into my mum, my auntie, and everyone, and then that love of piano music seeped down to me. But I then started doing singing and stuff at Windsor Girls' School. That's where I met Laura, the singer I was mentioning about, and we did a lot of stuff. Yeah, really fun harmony singing things.
When did you start writing your own music?
I probably around then, so what, year 9? Actually, before that, in year 7 or 8 in the school in Ealing, we did like a songwriting workshop, and I remember absolutely loving it, and I kind of, if I thought about it, I'd be able to remember the song that me and my little group wrote, and I think from then I loved it. But I didn't start doing it myself until, year 9.
That's like the serious time.
Yes.
I was kind of like that as well when I was a kid. I wrote a song when I was probably about 9 years old on the piano in our conservatory, and then we took down the conservatory and my parents smashed the piano to pieces because it was just old and useless. But I remember standing at the glass just crying because that was like my first song.
Yeah, that's meaningful.
It's traumatic. But yeah, it's really interesting how I think a lot of people that write their own music seem to come to it at a kind of similar time.
Yeah.
I think as you hit your like mid-teens, when you want to kind of like start expressing yourself.
Totally, I was just thinking that as you
that.
said it, and it's all about that community expression and communication to other people around you.
Yeah,
and it's like you'll write a song sometimes and you don't even know what's on your mind, and then there it all is in front of you. You've just sang it, and you're like, oh, that's what I've been thinking about then.
It's a little piece of you that's just out to the world.
Totally.
That's quite nice. Yeah, I think we're gonna go to a VT now of Richard Chapman. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, just make sure you check out these 360 videos afterwards because they're so cool. And if you have anything like a VR headset or these funky cardboard boxes, or even your standard pair of 3D things for those pictures. We've got multi-experience stuff. So this isn't it, just this live stream. We've got other platforms, which kind of brings in that festival vibe. So
it's as real as alive as it can be without being alive. Yeah!
I don't know what.
Alright, everybody, this is Time Stands Still, and baby, it never does.
Time stands still for no one, and it special. No one cares, and I just wanna be free. Tick-tock of the clock as time's ticking by. There comes a time in a man's life when he needs that certain somebody, and I just wanna know if she's out there, and I just wanna know if she cares. Time stands still. Time stands still. Time stands still for no one, and it definitely don't stop for me, 'cause I ain't nothing special. No one cares, and I just wanna be free, and I just wanna be free, and I just wanna be free, and I just wanna be free. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. That was awesome, yeah.
Are we back? And that was the wonderful sound of my good friend Richard Chapman, who I've known since my teenage years.
Since your teenage years?
Since my teenage years. And now I'm going to attempt to have an interview with Mr. Bully Boy himself.
Mr. Bully Boy.
Who's been bullying me all day.
And his good friend Rick
who's here to defend
me from you and your slander.
You're here to
slander,
keep the
young
peace,
man.
so that's why you're in between us. Yeah, so I'd just like to say, and I think the three of us that have been on this crew, that this probably wouldn't have happened without you.
Oh, you guys.
So I nearly bought you some champagne, but I'm super cheap. But then I thought maybe we could write it off as things. So I don't know if it's probably...
Just for future reference, Chandellini would have been fine.
Well, it was more... I want people to imagine it like, you know, going like that. So there you go. There's your bottle of empty Highland water.
Did you literally leave that down there?
No, I'm just...
gag.
That's just improv.
That just for that visual gag.
It's just wit.
Do you see what I've got to work with, Rick? Do you see?
You had to ruin the moment. So, yeah, we were sort of... I mean, I've actually managed to do 6 gigs. I don't know how. Some of them I've thought this is a miracle. Some of them I've thought, how is this happening? And yeah, and we had Will come on at a certain point, and I've worked with Will through, well, I went to college and Will was a teacher and used to bully me there.
Give over.
No.
You needed showing straight, that's what that was.
we did a podcast in January when we were in that deep lockdown, and it's a 3-hour conversation of what I think this is going to be like for about 5 minutes. And then you very kindly invited me round to your house, and it was like the first time I've been in a house in a while.
See, that was during the lockdown.
That was during the deep lockdown, and my sound didn't sound very good, and I've been very conscious about it up until now. But then we got drunk the other night, and he was like, "No, man, I love your sound."
Oh no, it was great. It was great. You just got paranoid because I was super like, I'm only going to use this section and this section.
Yeah.
Because that was just, we got it in the can.
We did.
And to be honest, that's a bit of an ethos with the gig at the end of the world. It's all about like.
But look at where this led. A beautiful friendship. A beautiful friendship.
And a beautiful night.
Yeah, and a lovely night. So anyway, enough of sort of that. Yeah, tell me how you came to the. Tell me what got you into Gig at the End of the World. And
Okay,
that.
so it's a long. So like I have worked in live music for 25 years now. Admittedly, like I started actually working in live music while I was studying music production, which was sort of the platform that took me off, because that was sort of like the early, well, it was the year 2000, like electronica was becoming a much more kind of in the mainstream. Most pop acts were touring with backing tracks and stuff like that. So my interest in live performance and my studio skill set just happened to cross over really nicely at exactly the time that I was studying. and it led on to like a professional opportunity. So literally my first professional gig was I did keyboard sampling and sequencing for Ronan Keating's band, which was like a big thing at the time. I can see Liam over there going, I knew he was going to say it. Here it is. Here it is. Oh, sorry. I'm just going to pick up this name I've dropped here. So that kind of like is what led me off into my career around live music, and that was pretty much didn't look back, non-stop roller coaster for that 25 years. Worked. I didn't even do it on purpose. And that kind of like that was what I was doing. I've sort of diversified into like the deeply techie side of music technology.
I know, I'm painfully aware.
Like, deeply techie side, like metadata in nightclubs, which I've been working with PRS and PPL, and everything's been going super swimmingly in that kind of realm until March 2020, and suddenly live music wasn't a thing and live performance wasn't a thing anymore. And the reality was, I realised at that point that live music and live performance is what I am for. And my inability to imagine a life without doing that is kind of what led on to Gig at the End of the World. I was really fortunate in that I'm one of the people that has managed to qualify for government subsidies, but I'm not the type of person that can take government subsidies and just kind of go, well, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to try and push forward live music. I'm going to try and do as much as I can with the art form within the constraints that surround us.
You might want to look at one of the cameras.
Oh, I should. I've just been kind of chatting.
No.
Oh, I'm on telly.
Yeah, it's a buzz. It's a buzz. It's a real
so
buzz.
yeah, that was kind of the opening thing. That's what started me on the journey. And to be honest, it was initially an idea about just putting gigs online and trying to get live music out there so that people still had an outlet. The VR thing, as I was developing it, came on because you can't see this room from where you are, but there is a lot of equipment in this room to do this shoot.
I think there'll be some pictures on various social media platforms.
On the socials.
Also, just sorry to quickly cut in, but if there is comments and anybody wants to ask any questions at the very end, we'll go through them all. So
and probably not answer them. But
just if anything funny pops up. Anyway,
So the reason I got into VR as a thing is because the learning curve is not very steep. So for a sound engineer like myself, as a technical person, it was an easy technology to get into, set up the channel, and that's kind of, we started on Christmas Eve, right in the depth of that deep, dark lockdown you were discussing earlier.
Dark ages.
Yeah, and we've literally released like a piece of music every week, and since February, 2 pieces of live music every week in virtual reality on the channel.
Do you want to drop another name, pick up another name?
Oh, so one of our big acts was Arlo Parks, who just won the Brit Award for Best Newcomer, and she had a #1 album earlier this year. That was through Independent Venue Week, who is a really great charity, and they were doing it as part of their exercises, and they got Gig at the End of the World involved, and just Arlo and her management, by releasing music on the channel, just been so supportive.
Was that at the Boiler Room that you did that session?
No, that was recorded at Bush Hall, but I have been doing shows at the Boiler Room,
which is a venue in Guildford for anyone that.
Great grassroots venue just in Surrey here, and what we've been doing there, they were really clever in that they saw the same kind of pattern that I did of needing to sort of do something for the time being. So they've rigged the venue so that there's loads of streaming gear in there. And so what we do is we get together, we make a load of VR content, we do a live stream, and excitingly, the next one, which is this Friday, the 25th, 2 gigs this week. It's like 2019. Oh, can you feel it? So 2 gigs this week. This Friday, Signal to Noise, we're actually going to have an audience, a very small audience, but an actual audience in the room. And that is the real kind of driving force behind Gig at the End of the World. It's this idea of socially scalable events. So we're going to have to be quite clever over the next little time about how we go around events, how we go around monetising events to make them work for this next time. So it's all about social scalability. Back to you, mine host.
Cool. No, that was I'm used to it now. The amount of Zoom meetings, right? And I was the one. Sorry, that's captured beautifully in HD. Can we? Is there any way to cut that? Like, can we future beep it? But I'll do it for a little bit longer. So this is your friend Rick Dove, who I've briefly said hello to outside. Rick, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to get you up to do some poetry.
Well, I have been a poet and spoken word artist for the last 6 years, gigging all around London, Surrey, and beyond. And yeah, I met Will. We were both in events. Met Will, we clicked, and he invited me down to do this.
Well, do you know what? To be fair, it was your poetry book. It was your poetry book.
Yeah, have you got your poetry book?
Oh,
if you wanna. Get it in the camera.
Good. So I bought a copy of this from Mr. Dove, knowing him as legend and impresario, and I knew he did poetry and stuff, and I read this book and I was just like, man, I love this. And first opportunity, here we are.
Nice. Yeah. So welcome to the family.
Thank you very much.
So we've all become over a little bit.
Is it time for some poems from Rick?
It's time for some poems. Yeah, I mean, unless there's anything else you'd like to say, because I don't know if we've.
Well, no, we could go for it.
Anything else? Yeah.
Poetry. Right, I'm going to get out of the way then.
Right, and then are we zooming back as a quick cutaway, or are we just letting him get set up?
Out the seat.
Oh, okay.
I forgot it was space.
I forgot it was this camera.
Image of professionality here.
Well, I think I'm going to dedicate this set to Dido Harding, because she's been in the news recently. If you don't know why, Google it. I heard it first at 7, the day they called me Gollywog. And as the word passed these lips to meet Mum's ear, a tear. And every time since then I'm back there, little boy lost there, wondering when I will grow up. Praying and praying and praying like that's ever been enough, that this world will too. Strange then that this was too my childhood's very end, there in an 80s living room as Mum and Dad and I have the chat. And my dad tells the tale, regales again and again in his final days about these early years on this isle, how only black in the village was actually a thing, and how it was him, and how on a summer's day no more than 8 a policeman at the gate came to tell his mum he couldn't go to the corner shop alone again. He hadn't stolen anything, but the shopkeeper, like so many back then, wasn't one for details except the single simple one that still holds us back. So later that evening, Granny and Grandad give my 8-year-old dad the chat. And I rehearse it with a girlfriend, same night as our first tiff, late on a date about 2003, the year, not the hour, as she suggests we hail a cab. And her privilege hits me there, hits me square, hits me full force in a derriere. I won't be able to snap, flag one, here I snap. Snarky, inferring, maybe it should be you in the flooded gutter in your good shoes. And later that evening, as I'm cleaning her boots, she and I have the chat. Because that's how it's been for generations. Parents to their children, star-crossed lovers in explanation, in conversation after conversation after conversation after conversation, explaining how being black, though having some advantages, will get you treated as lesser by some, will make you a target to some, will put you in the crosshairs of some. And this is something a quartet of Carl Lewis, Linford Christie, Usain Bolt and Jesse Owens cannot outrun. It's a baton we're still passing. And this is me to you, my son. Because that's how I'll have to give it to my boy. Say, I hope this world will grow so you never truly know that feeling of being so conspicuous and yet so small. Of representing an entire skin tone all on your own alone, because I know whenever you feel the weight of that, it will crush you flat. And you deserve to be on show only when you choose to be. And now you're fully grown and in possession of our truth. I know you'll guard it well until it is due. But I hope and pray, like that's ever been enough, that this ends with you. And hopefully one day, a black man standing on a stage or putting a pen to a page will stop being a political act. But until then, we'll have the chat. don't know why I don't start my sets with this one, because it's actually called First Words, but I always do it second. First words. For years, you bite your tongue. Moderate your rage. Play dumb. Pretend you don't hear what they say. Maintain a dignified silence. Stay quiet in the face of snarling with your boiling blood, one drop polluted, where fight and flight, where neither is appropriate. This is an office job, not a pub. So you bite your tongue. You ignore the patronising tones, even though your education, both street and academic, means that you know better than they assume, and they assume they know better than you. You maintain a dignified silence. Allow them to explain how your personal experience is wrong, is far-fetched, and there is familiarity to their contempt. You pretend that shop floor security aren't playing chaperone as you browse. You keep your head down as not to arouse suspicions already evident. You touch nothing because evidence. You keep calm while explaining for the 1000th time that day why it isn't okay to profile in this way. It's a heated exchange and you know why, but play dumb when asked to explain. You bite your tongue. This is not the hill to die on. You respond politely to, where are you from? Again, and again, and again. Explain the region, and then the street, and then the city, and then the town, and then the mother-flipping maternity ward. Reductio ad absurdum, getting bored, so you go the other way. You explain the country and the continent, the planet, the interstellar neighbourhood, the galaxy of possibilities that they refuse to see. You are never from where they need you to be. And there is familiarity to their contempt, so you bite your tongue. You listen to others explain how you don't belong in the land that you were born, the only one that's ever kept you warm. You keep smiling. It's a little lopsided now. Your tongue is heavy and swollen from all the biting. You smile, but not with the busy teeth, not like the Jim Crow ones, not like the cartoons. You don't dance anymore for fear of compliments. You bite your tongue. You bite your tongue. You bite your tongue, remembering what your parents said once. It is not your job to hold the lantern to show others out of the dark, until suddenly one day you wake at a ripe old age and say the lantern was never for them or to light their way. It was yours alone, a reminder of the sun. There is familiarity to their contempt, but there is fight and flight upon your tongue. Okay, we're just going through this weird lockdown-y type stuff and the world's all starting to open up again, and this poem is sort of about what kind of world we want to go back to, because I think we've all lost a lot and a lot has changed and it's all up in the air. So what world do we want to go back to? This is Bucket List. Capitalism is putting out a fire with a bucket, with a trickle of a hole at the base of it, and having to carry said bucket from the lake edge to the seat of it, the fire, that is. And what is your strategy in this? Is it in a anxious, hurried stream of half buckets, anxiously forwards and backwards and forwards, more than enough to make sure of enough? Or is it more conservatively, in believing you have time to plug the hole before you go? Committing early to that belief, that efficiency and a lack of waste in your own energy is the key. Capitalism is filling the bucket with poured possessions to a raging fire made of need. Capitalism is the bucket maker's greed, selling straw as kindling with black market weed. There's a hole in my bucket, dear Liza, you used to sing to me. There's a hole in my bucket, dear Liza. That one bucket was enough for Maslow's hierarchy. That all abundance is about anxiety around security, about the fear of fire that our newsreels will bleed. There's a hole in my bucket, you used to sing to me. My bucket, a hole. Capitalism is black market buckets, reselling buckets to stockpile, to price fix, reading bucket diplomas at bucket universities, studying an amendment in the very definition of freedom, all about buckets and a straw man's deeds. Capitalism is a media obsessed with fires. Even the ones with deniers, even the ones that we started abroad and still sell the straw to feed. Capitalism is the very idea of buckets, with buckets as seeds, a bucket peer-reviewed year-on-year growth in perpetuity, suggesting that the blood of refugees is just as good as water and better for the bucket's longevity. It's only thicker when you're family, you see. Capitalism is an endless game of buckets, bucketing down with rain, and when into every life some rain must fall, the bucket is the panacea, catch-all. Capitalism is our willing acceptance and yet total denial of all of this, until we kick it. The bucket, that is. Just say one more time, thanks to the Festival of Music for having me, thanks for the gig at the end of the world. I'm just going to finish with, finish with this one. Lifting the lid. I always felt that Schrodinger's cat was black. So damned familiar, that feeling, that being experiment of a white man to be put in a box, to be both alive and dead and theoretical. For the sake of someone else's education, someone else's critical thinking, just an impossible image inside someone else's head, subjugated, sold and bred and made undead by this our shared history that neglects to mention how the torture and murder of small animals is actually an early warning sign of psychopathy. But you know this already, and I know this intimately, having an affinity with that moggy frequently while out jogging, doing laps at dawn and watching others scorn as they cross themselves and cross the street to keep away from me, to keep me from crossing their path. And you may laugh, but I always felt that Schrodinger's cat was black. So damned familiar, that feeling of being or not being at the whims of fate, the superpositions and quantum states of being a number one for weeks sexual fantasy and the lynch mob scapegoat simultaneously. That eternal duality of the word hung. About being corrected once by an old white man to say hanged, as if by way of reparations or apology he should correct my grammar and silence me subtly, put a lid on me, bottle me and store me away in a cool and dark place, as if being seen and heard might make me real instead of the velveteen victim of the white man's burden that he'd now rather forget and stuff into a box with a poison pill to be dispatched, to be euphemistically lost. And so, like Schrodinger's cat, I'm both fully assembled and flat-packed, numbered irrationally, the root of two worlds some still insist are mutually exclusive, black and British. Two worlds squished and sealed into this to be or not to be, in these ghetto experiments, imperial measurements, to be or not to be, maddened by this insane society that both co-opted and neglected me, adopted and neglected me, and still imagines me taking jobs while stealing welfare simultaneously, and then continuously puts me in a box, and ends up hating that box when it comes to define me, and reminds it of all of the guilty of its acts. Our history, our shared history, founded on all those murders we committed and we'd rather not see. Early sign of psychopathy, that. The mutability of fact. So you see, I always felt that Schrodinger's cat was black. So damned familiar to me was his story. To be forever at the mercies of those out there doing the seeing and their curiosities. And please, please, don't get me started on my bisexuality.
Thank you very much to Chloe Ann for that gorgeous song. It is actually the last track on her EP that was released last week. So if you go into our bio on any of our socials, you can click on the link tree and find a link to that in there.
Nice. And we've got our final act of the evening, a live act. Matthew One Man, he was last year's headliner. He's our one and only looper extraordinaire.
Thank you. I'm not a looper, I'm an artist that uses a loop station to sculpt scenic landscapes. Thank you. No, the looper thing's like bogged down in technology and it's not cool.
Yeah, sure. Can I call you a sonic landscape?
Just call I'm an artiste.
An artiste.
Anyway.
Matthew One Man.
Now I've got my headphones on, I feel a lot more isolated from the rest of the world. So, yeah, my name's Matthew One Man. Some of you are probably familiar with you. It's an honour to be back here with everyone. I'm going to play something that I actually only... This is probably the quickest from coming out of my head to my fingers to being something that I'm going to play live because I just really, really love it. It's inspired by quite a few things. Yeah. It doesn't even have a name yet.
it sounding okay out there? Cool.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for the 3 people that heard it and the rest of them that are just clapping out of kindness. Yeah, how much longer can I go for? Oh, that's the response I've wanted all week. 2 more. Let's see what's the time?
We need to wrap up soon.
20 past 8. 20 past. We got forever. I am the headline. I am Matthew Bun, man. You can be talented, but you'll never be Matthew Bun, man.
It's fair, I can't argue.
In saying this, I really was vibing hard. I keep saying vibe, it's just like internet culture, which we've all got to guard ourselves against at the moment, because it's toxic. It's just made its way into my mind, the same vibe. But I've really been vibing with this track hard. I'm trying to think of more urban or youth slang, internet slang to say around that. But I played it earlier, and I was kind of like, So if I don't do it the first time, I'll play something else, and it won't be a biggie. I did that the other day. Right, again, I really hope this works. This one doesn't have a name. It was kind of written with the idea of maybe putting some vocals on it from a band that used to make reggae do, and I could kind of see that, and I was kind of picturing that actually being filmed in here. It's just called Waves. Maybe do one more afterwards, and I'm good with that, to be honest. So 4 songs, I'm. Thank you very much. They love me. They love me. They all love me. I was trying to show off there at the end. Backfired. So, what can you do? Not too much improv. Right, is it time to talk about me? Oh, we don't have to. We don't. I'm like, honestly, I've hosted like half of it. I kind of don't really know what to say, and my feet smell a bit. So, well, if you insist.
Come down to the sofa, Matthew, one man.
What did you say?
Come down to the sofa, Matthew.
Oh, okay, cool.
Come to the interviewing area.
I will put back on my shoes.
I'll take this pew.
I do kind of like it. Jenny's like, no way.
No, not yet.
It gives me all the power.
Shall I sit in the middle though?
Go
okay,
for
it. Well, what a day it's been, everyone. Like, you know, did they really think they were going to... What do you want to ask me then?
Firstly, thank you. That's that.
That's okay, you're welcome.
I think the biggest thing that we were going to ask you, because this is going to take up probably the most of the time, is how your art practice has changed during COVID, because I know that you've been doing more physical art than music.
More visual art.
Yeah.
So, how do I... So...
Start at the beginning.
And what did you start with? I've never really talked to you about that.
You not...
Like back in the day.
Back when I was like 3, I was like playing with like crayons and stuff all the time.
As you do as a 3-year-old.
Yeah,
just to be honest.
Just being like free and expressing myself, and yeah, so I did that for a while, and then I did that in the last stream. Like, while sounds, sorry, I'm just hyper aware of myself now, but also tuned into the world. One man in the building. I don't have to be a host anymore, so I can kind of say what I want. But
I'm
sure you can.
Within limits. Yeah, so I did art. I was like Artist of the Year quite a few times, the Salesians. I was actually Artist of the Year for the first time as 6th form, and then I dropped out, and I hated art because of my teacher. I had a great, not that she was nice, I just didn't click with her, and I think she liked gossiping with all the girls and stuff, and I was like, I want to draw like skulls and stuff like that. And yeah, and then I just was kind of repelled by doing it for years and years and years. And then me and my ex-girlfriend was sat around her house one day, and we were just drawing, or we were painting actually. And I did a picture called Blue Mountain King. And kind of like, I was just like, wow, this is amazing. And I posted it online. It did all right. And then, I suppose, stuff happened that led me to making some more emotional pieces, and then I kind of found that I could use it as a second outlook, yeah. And then during the pandemic, I suppose, I think Will's been talking about adaptation. It just kind of seemed like, well, I mean, I don't really do much. I don't play video games. I I don't know how profound we can get, or how much real we can get on here, and I don't really want to I don't think today's the space. You don't have to be super real all the time. If anyone knows what I'm saying.
Yeah, let's not be super real.
Let's not be super real. You don't...
It's not a festival of music.
Well, you know what I mean? I don't really do much other than create. I don't really like consuming things. I like watch maybe one anime a year, something like that, or maybe I'll listen to something in the background. So I just kind of had all this time to just sit around and draw, and then I don't think I really played anything that was double looped. I was at a socially distanced festival on the weekend, and I sort of thought this is going to be the show to push new stuff. I don't know if that's how I'm going to do it now, which kind of goes into, there is new music. I think 2 of the songs I played were new today. completely new that have never really been heard before. I think I've sent Matt on the camera a demo version of that a while ago, and the other one, I let you listen to it when it was on the headphones, and I showed it to my dad. But yeah, like, I just kind of, it was all sort of before lockdown, and then the higher powers would like go into lockdown with art and music and just sort of get good at it. And I thank God that everyone seems to like my art. It seems to be like a very sort of commercial product because my music isn't really, but that's okay.
So in terms of, sorry, you go.
We were talking a bit about the seasons as well, like on Tuesday we were saying like in the summer is more of gigging time and autumn also, and then the other 2 months are more reflection and creating stuff, or whether that's art or whatever.
Yeah, and I think at the moment, I think I've had this conversation with a lot of people, especially creative people. Will's actually just left, he's like, sorry, I'm free! I think at the moment it's kind of tricky to know which season to do because I can't necessarily spend all of my time inside drawing, making music, because actually part of getting it to a new point, as I think you've realised today as well, is doing that scary jump and playing it in front of new people.
Yeah. Totally.
And there's the Ecclesiastes 3, where it says a time for everything in the heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace, a time to kill and a time to heal. I don't know the rest of it, but sometimes you got to remember which time you're in.
Yeah.
So.
And I think it's been nice as well tonight to be reminded of the fact that live events are still out there, but they've just had to transform into a different medium.
Yeah.
Well, they can be seated outside as well, and there is ways around it.
How they were in 2019.
Might be at some point.
Well, they will at some point.
But there will always
right
be this
now,
other option, this other sphere that's been created, which we're all enjoying exploring, to be honest. So,
and I think as well, we're on about how the seasons, so summer offers up time for festivals and things, and this year I don't think you're going to get that creative outlet as you would have in 2019. And we've discussed before how in 2020 there was a lot of live streaming going on. But we're not really seeing that so much this year because you are having this hybrid of some live streams, some actually in person. And I think it's slowly coming back, but this year you're still going to find that difficulty with creative expression because you don't have the events that you usually would.
Yeah, and I think to stay inside during summer is going to be hard if we have to do it. I mean, like when the vegan market was in town, shout out to Chamber of Commerce.
That was in here, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. That was the craft fair. The vegan market was going on outside.
It was a great day.
I saw Jenny and her housemate. I saw a couple other people that I know in town.
The vegan massive.
I'm not even vegan. I didn't eat.
Came out and we were like, what's going on?
I didn't eat any of the food, but I was like, it's so good to see everyone. And then I was just like,
it was really good, yeah.
And some people said, don't go and get like high on socialization. But I do think that's what we are. I know Will's got everyone's got an opinion on like that at the moment.
But it's been interesting, like having that split rather than just all one way, all the other. And I don't know, I think all of us have sort of touched on themes of duality tonight, which was, I know Rick did. You guys were a minute ago. And I don't know, I think that is the truth that we're living in at the moment.
I also think like a lot of us probably wouldn't have been brought together without the pandemic. And it's made some very interesting new friendships. Include, like, I wasn't particularly, probably the only person I was really close to in this room before the pandemic was Matt, and now you're all, sorry YouTube, maybe we'll get drunk and we'll be like, we're brothers. But like, it's kind of been, I don't want to say it shows you who, I hope my parents aren't listening in there, like, he's kind of like, he's high from the before. My mum's definitely watching.
She's chimed in with some comments.
Have
we had anyone else ask anything or say anything recently?
But But the point I was making was I don't think that you should necessarily think that COVID has shown you who your true friends are. I think that's a bit of a dangerous route to go down. Or to say the word, oh, my fake friends, they're called what are they called? Accomplices.
Yeah.
Acquaintances.
Either.
I don't want my wording to get in the way of my messaging. You know, like my message is pure, and I think you all know what I'm saying, even when I don't say it. I don't need the language to speak.
You send it to us instead.
I'm just channeling the spirit.
Channeling it through your toes.
Through my toes.
Yeah,
So,
best toes in Egham.
best toes in Egham. I'm willing to take anyone on. You will not win. These toes are very highly regarded. They're one of the most famous things in Egham. They'll one day be kept inside the museum upstairs. And I have my feet cryogenically frozen. I'm sitting here and I'm telling you right now, I'm the Stanley Spencer of Egham.
Jenny, your video was in the museum, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah, so my video was recorded in the museum, which was kind of nice because that's kind of where it all started. So, yeah.
Nice book finish.
Yeah,
bookend.
exactly.
Yeah.
Where it started is where it's finished.
Yeah.
And
We should play your video at the end.
I don't think we should.
But it's not the end.
Everyone's seen that once. So,
Well, thank you everyone who's tuned in. It's been so amazing. Thank you to all our crew.
Stay
Thank
safe.
you to all the
Stay
performers
inside.
as well. It's
Yeah, thank you very much. We could not. Can we get Matt and Will? We could not have done this without the two of you. If we can just get like all of us in the shot. And Liam's been an absolute star. He's kind of shown up. He's like that guy in the last episode of the anime that shows up and is like, as in the skill
I'm the
that he brings
solution
in.
to everything.
Yeah.
It's like the Swiss Army knife.
So yeah, we really couldn't have done it without these two, and they're both such amazing influences for me.
And how appropriate you're standing in front of your
Yeah.
You're standing in front of your gig at the world. So we will see you soon.
Select your character. Select your character. This will make a really nice little group shot as well.
I hope so. Yeah.
Like a little screenshot. So.
And thank you for Rick for coming down as well.
Thank you for Rick for the absolutely lovely poetry. Yeah, I think that's kind of it. Just like keep kind of, we really want to like.
Thanks to the Lit for having us.
Thanks to the Lit for having us. We really want to like turn this into a beautiful space where we can breathe new colour and new shapes into Egham and bring it some vibrancy. And I think we've got like a really good chance to do that. And I think we brought some of the.
And I think it begins right here.
And I think it began today.
Begins and ends.
So yeah, I think that's cut to Della B.
Wait, make sure to check out all our socials. We have a link tree in the bio of everything.
It sounds so clinical.
All the VRs are now up, so you can see
all of the HD stuff's up as well now on the YouTube channel. So get in there.
Everything. It doesn't end here. You can watch us all over again if you really want to.
I'm gonna watch it 5 times tomorrow. You think I'm joking? No, that is my Tuesday.
We can do a watch party. Round 2.
And that, I think, is Egham Festival for Music.
I think it is, yes.
I was sitting upon the roadside, half dead. this is my home.